Morning, everyone. This is Don, Kingdom 362 for RogersRaiders.com. And we also have this little lovely YouTube channel that you're watching now. And what we're going to do today, boys and girls, is recover from an epic battle. And I want to say thank you right off the bat for all those who remember my little 230 million power just in a few videos ago. Who watched that fight yesterday. It was a long day against one kingdom. And it was Kingdom 352, and we got a couple videos, little 5-minute shots up in there. I don't like to put a lot of KVK real-time stuff up because I like for our kingdom to win. I will show you the overall methods. I will teach you what we're doing in theory and how I adjust and deal with that in real time. That's the game, folks. It's a strategy game. You know what I'm going to do because I tell you what I'm going to do. And if you can't beat me having told you up front what I'm going to do, that is a problem. K352 did beat us yesterday. All right. I'm going to go in here and show you just how brutal this day was. We were number one, number two until the last few hours of the day on Kingdom Deaths. Invasion kills. Crown Invasion. Up here is a trophy in the corner. Okay, so we're going to look at invasion kills, alliance invasion kills. All right. So Kingdom 130 and King 240, they did pass us. Barely. Here's our lovely little brand new kingdoms that kept up with the big boys. Now, so we killed 33 million of 352's troops to their killing 34 million of our troops. I can tell you that our kingdom didn't suffer the losses that he thinks he made us suffer. We use the rally formations that are on the website, where we use the 60Ks and the 75Ks. And for the longest part of the day, we were throwing trash in towers early on while he was running around, and we were trying to find the bottom end of his gold pit. He ran around and speed hit every tower we put troops in, and we were throwing tier 2. So those numbers are in there. My alliance went from 12.2 billion at the start to 10.9 billion for power. So we lost some power, but not that much, about 15%. Okay, and you know that a good 60% of your power is in your troops. So we didn't lose all our power. We had to give up because we got down to the last 2 hours of the game, and you'll see that. I don't know if I put that on video or not, but here's the number one killer over there, and we were trying to find the bottom of his. He did 19 million of that entire kingdom's 34 million, all by himself. He actually coined during the fight and added 200% stats to his castle because we were close enough to hurt him. And we sent a mega rally at him, killed 900,000. But God, we went up against 200,000 of his traps, which just tells me he has never been challenged. And he said as much yesterday. He says, most people just roll over and quit. Not us, man. We're going to fight you to the death. I can guarantee you that towards the end of the fight, he was the only one that could fight. There's a reason his kill count was getting high. He's the only one that could fight. Nobody else in that kingdom was a challenge to us whatsoever. I got some good math, so the calculator's going to change, and this is one of the reasons I'm shooting this little preemptive thing. I'm not in here bragging that we lost, okay? But I am very proud of what we learned. So I've been working on the calculators for the last month and a half, 2 months since the war talents come out. The spine breaker is still the best thing out there, but it's not as good as it can be. And my marches have been getting better and better and better. Now that I had a really long drawn out epic battle to where I can prove it on film, that's one of the things we got to do. So here's one of the mega rallies. All right, so kiss this. I wonder if we can go. Well, I can't because that was in my kingdom. I was hoping we could just look at her power rating. All right, but we can show what she did, and this is good play. Okay, she had the right strategy, only I just happened to be beta ahead of her on defending against my own strategies. All right, so she brought a mega rally in. She had the troops to deal with it. Okay, now I outstatted her. My C-32 to her C-35. Okay, I did outstat her, not everywhere. Okay, she had her infantry up, and I've got 2 more war talents than she does. And there's no telling where these war talents are. Uh, so hard to say. And I would bet you anything that after she sees this, where she outstatted me in infantry attack, she's probably going to, if you, matter of fact, kiss this if you see the video, go move those things you stacked in infantry attack, because everybody saw that plus 50% infantry in a march and you get a bonus. Yeah, don't fall for the sucker for the marketing and BS of that war talent. Uh, okay, and this is proof positive. She's a C-35. She brought T-11s to the fight. So we're going to look at the battle details, guys. Like, because that's where it matters. What did she bring to the fight? And hold on, we're going to have to scroll through all my crap. Uh, because we have, and the reason we got to do all this scrolling, we use the T-75 marches, guys, and we come in there with small marches and spread that damage out over a lot of people. We're using hundreds of hospitals, not freaking 30 of them with 4 guys, you know. And there's one of our, now, and I do notice this with language barrier problems, even within my own kingdom. You notice that was an unwell formed march, and he got hurt. So out of the 400,000, you know, this one guy sent us all tier 10s, and out of the 400,000, 120, 170, 180, plus the wounded. So he died 180 all by himself of the 400,000 that we lost. That's one guy. That's why you use the spine breaker. All right, guys? This is in the middle of my tower. My whole tower lost 400,000. This one guy lost almost half, all by himself, sending nothing but his T10s. It's under mega. He's getting my stats. Do not think the mega is going to do the damage for you. Do not think that there's this cumulative math of everything in the tower counts as one big unit. It does not. Each and every individual counts as their own. And in my theory on this game, and it is theory, it's not provable, your damage stats do not carry in the mega. All right? Which means that any bonuses that I put in war talents for stats carry in the mega, but any bonuses that I put into my damage don't carry in the mega. If that makes sense to you, if I'm explaining it well or not. All right. So there was me going flying by. So you see all these guys with little bitty tier 9s, marches. They didn't take big losses. All right. More cavalry losses than I thought he should have took, but they brought so much infantry in. I kind of get it. They're somewhere in the defense roll for that guy. His cavalry rolled against their infantry to try and kill them in a defensive mode. See, you don't know where in the roll, I'm pointing at the screen, you don't know where in the roll these losses occurred. There is hundreds of micro rolls that are taking place. So they attack, they get the initiative, and then we defend, and that means on defense, his cavalry attack becomes a defense against their T11 infantry. So his T9 cavalry is trying to kill their T11 infantry, and that's probably where those losses occurred. Uh, all bullshit and assumption. It's from what I understand of how the tiers interact from each other, but it's what makes sense to why he lost cavalry in the middle of a march, in the middle of a tower. All right. So, but they're small losses. There wasn't just one T11 there. Hold on, that's what we're getting down to. So, I got guys with 38 airships, and see, there was another ill-formed one, and boom, he got trashed on the form. Okay, and this is a good learning opportunity here. If you don't have the entire tier, don't bring the tier. Okay? Literally, if all you got's these T9 gunners, leave them home, roll a T8 march. Okay? Don't get caught doing this stuff. We're still in the defense mode. And this is where I say we brought more people to the fight. And so the damage rollover numbers. Guys, did I pass the assault stuff without thinking? Because I thought it was at the bottom. Okay, battle details. Kiss is, oh man, I'm looking at her stuff right up the bat. All right, so yeah, she brought her T11s. There's her infantry. Now, this is a well-formed march against an infantry defending tower. Okay, so we look down at her T11s, her winged Hussein. She brought in tons of cavalry. All right, and we killed tons of her cavalry. I'm prepared for that. That's what the new spine breaker is going to help do. All right, there's going to be an offense and defense side to the spine breaker here in the future, and I'm going to break them down into tier 10, 11s, and 12s. So that's 6 calculators to do 2 jobs, depending on where you sit. And the reason we're not doing it with tell me your stats, blah, blah, blah. Your stats are fluid. They should be changing every few days. Honestly, your march shouldn't. You should be focusing your stats on what it is you're trying to do, and you should be focusing your formation on what it is you're trying to do. So you will set your formation up, say, well, I'm going to take out the job, I'm going to wipe out these people's infantry, or I'm going to wipe out these people's cavalry. And you set your formation up for that. And then you build your stats to do that job. Then you turn around and add your war talents on top of doing that job within your march. Okay? And you be the best person you can be at your level doing your job. That's so, don't think that when you come over to my website that what you're going to find is here's the answer to how to be the instant god. Spend $100 and you're an instant C40. That doesn't exist. That's a dream. That's wishful thinking. All right. What I'm giving you is a tool that you can apply to what you're already doing. So you need to know what you're doing before you start using the tools. Okay, if you're a guy that's going to sit in a tower in KVK all day, well, then you need to know how you're going to build your march. Okay, you need to know what you're going to do to replace troops that get lost in that march. And you need to have seen 1 or 2 hits and go, wow, I lost more infantry, or I lost more riflemen. I lost about this many, and you'll find that it's pretty close to an average each time that you lose the same things in about the same amounts. Only when it's a complete wipe, and that's when somebody's stat devastation over you is insane. That you get that, and you saw that where I showed you that we had a C40 that just absolutely could take out any one of our towers anytime he wanted to. I mean, just this one guy. Now, if you've seen some of my developer videos, you've seen where I said this was a matchup issue. This wasn't a matchup issue. All right. This was a guy who went into a newer kingdom, coined all the way up, and was never challenged for almost a year. Okay. The reason I know this is the mega that we sent at him, we killed 200,000 traps. No one has ever dared attack this guy. And like everybody else just gives up, just gives up. The So once you level a guy down like that, his stats aren't going to go away. But I promise you that the new patch that we're dealing with from the point of this video, which is 3.6.2, they have put a limit on those freaking speed ups, uh, to where you got to coin them out of a couple different areas, and there's no way you're replacing the 800 million power we took from you yesterday. You're not doing that in 2 weeks. Not without a gold spin. And like I said, we fought that guy yesterday, and we did this dance. I tried and tried and tried to find the bottom of his gold pile. He has been so unchallenged for so long. His gold pile was insane. So he may be able to gold coin that marches back to where he was for the next set of guys, but he ain't going to do it twice. The So it's going to take a little time for the correction in the matchup to balance out. Plus, at the time that I'm doing this video, we are going into the school year. That means I got college kids who are getting grant money. They're supposed to be buying books that will be buying C40s. Yeah, I know you that well. Okay, and then they're going to dump another 2-3 grand of free money right down into their phone game. All right, and then tell everybody how uber they are. And then they're going to go to a Democratic Party and say, hey, could you pay off my freaking loans? Yeah, because I don't know that Barry Sanders out there telling you, hey, go borrow money for some more craft beers. All right, guys? How about this is a good patch right now, and even those guys are going to get leveled out by this. All right, so those old castles that are sitting there, they need money to fix them up. A C40 that is 3 months old, 4 months old, is going to take $6,000-$7,000, somewhere around there right now, to get it into the Uber status. Otherwise, my C32 is going to push you around, because they have put most of the stuff into that you get into building stats into a event, and I'll show you that. Now, during the KVK yesterday, we ran. Now, you saw the video. You should go back and look on doing guard weapons. All right, so I'm going to show you my guard weapons. This was just a few days ago. Well, we've had a few events since then, right? So, on the events, look, I bought all 3 tiers. Okay, because I'm getting these things. Royal Knight Ascendant Scrolls. All right, my next freaking thing, I'm going to get 10 of those. All right, why is that important? Well, all those, oh my God, they're just trying to steal all the money out of us. Takes 6 weeks to build them epically for free. You all watched me coin it. I did it on film, okay, to where I built all the greens on film. Cost $100 to build all the greens. All right. So from events, I've now built 2 blues, so that's a 25% on my troop stats. Oops. Hold on here. I don't like this screen. Whereas if I went epic on it, I'm getting an extra 5%. And that's really some old ass thinking from prior to January of 2019. 5% was a big number prior to that. It's not anymore. So I chose to, with my free scripts from events, to increase my infantry over my green. So there I got 40 extra points. Now, I had enough stuff to go ahead and upgrade that to the orange. So I'm at orange right now. And as you see, I don't have, it's not a big jump, but it's a costly jump to go up there. And again, these are in the show stats area. Okay, damage is key. You need the show stats to activate the war talents to get more damage down in the bottom now. You've got to be able to think in chess type layers. So, hold on here, guys. Numb my throat up here. Uh, the so right during the KVK, while I had my entire KVK alliance in there, we went and ran nightshades. Why? Because we can run them on painful mode, and we can go get these little scripts that we need. See, I got 63. I'm about to get 10 more just by doing my dailies. 73. I'm going to have another epic guard weapon here shortly, and that's going to be another infantry, or I'm going to get another 40% on my infantry just doing the events. So it'll take, at the rate that it's going, I expect the single average 6 weeks, what guys went out there and spent, it would have cost you $3,000 to buy these on day one. In 6 weeks, I'll have them too. All right? It's that simple. All right? Show up to the events, do the events, do well in the events. All right? You've got to do it. And I got guys in my own alliance who think I don't know that they show up to UAC and they sit in the tower till they get 0, then they click the heal button and they go take a nap. Yeah, I get it. But that's also why you didn't get 80,000 points when everybody else got it in the first 2 hours. It only takes a couple hours of playtime. No one's asking you to do anything other than earn your points so that you get this stuff for free so that you're stronger. I want you to be at 2,000. I want your C26 to have 2,000 stats, and it can. Okay, we got a C29 in this kingdom that is 2,700 stats. All right, the outer shell doesn't mean squat. So when he hits C30 and gets his T10s, he's going to get the 20% bump from the troop level. But to be honest, all he wants to do is murder people in the kingdom. So T9 is that tier. So he can sit at T29 forever. Because T10s are a defensive tier. So he can sit there forever. The only benefit to jumping to C30 for him is finishing his damage numbers. Once you hit C30 and you banner out all those buildings, you can max out your airship, max out your thing, and you are max damage. He could be a C30 with C40 stats any day of the week. You can do that. All right. The numbers you would lose from bannering your buildings from C31 through C40 is 20, 30 points. But think of the cost of going from C31 to C40. You are talking, if you have to buy the badges, it's an insane number. Okay. It's just an insane amount of things. The badges are the thing slowing everybody down from C30 up. So as an alliance and as training that I do for you guys, focus on the stats before the castle level. Okay, you do want the tiers, but make sure that your banners are your buildings are bannered up. So when you hit, that's why we if you go through some of the really old videos where I tell you when to build, what to build, when you hit C26, it's a pause thing. Don't try to hit C27 tomorrow. You need to level every one of your buildings up to C26 and banner them. That should be your focus once you hit C26, is to have every single one of those damage buildings at max damage. All right? Have all the troop stats where they're supposed to be. Have everything bannered to C26. Then you shoot for C30. You don't even slow down. You just shoot for C30 and you backfill in as you get banners because the banner cost is so high going from C26 up. But you should be, there's lots of other stuff to do while you're bannering a C26, and the C26 banner cost isn't that high. So if you have to be pulling it out of the spirit mines, whatever, all right? So there's method to the madness to these little tips that seem arbitrary, to where I say stop, pause, banner. Okay? Build up the interior, then shoot to the next level. Because then, like when I shoot up to C30, my God, it takes me 8-10 weeks to get the banners done because I'm not buying them. All right. So when you see these things, and guys, they and I get tons of PMs. So she solo hit me right after. She thought an ill-formed march, right? She's like, I got his butt. And we took a pretty significant amount of damage because she's right. We were ill-formed. All right, but we didn't take more damage than she did. And I think if we look down in here, let's see. Yeah, well, she lost everything. And now my march would have been trash at this point. But even then, I wasn't losing everything. All right, so I mean, I only I lost 10,000 on my T10 Cav. The rest went to wounded. I'll show you my distance. I lost nothing. I murdered her with my distance. And oops, distance Cav. You know what? I didn't have any infantry left after the mega. Yeah. So that's why she come right in there. She looked at that stat report, said he's got no infantry, and I still beat her off with a stick. That was that. I find that funny. I don't know why. Okay, I don't think anybody had any infantry left. Who had some infantry left? Yeah, I'll tell you, War Talents beat her on that one. Okay, so let me explain what you just saw. No infantry, how did I survive that fight? Right? She had T11s. We had trash marches at this point. We only had 590,000 in there. It was all trash, no infantry for defense, and I beat her. She had a well-formed march, and I still beat her. All right, on paper, from what I would have told you 2 months ago, she should have zeroed that tower. All right, and this is where we're getting into, I'm building the marches back up again, and the war strategy talents. So let's go look at my war strategy talents and explain to you where my talents beat her. And we're going to go distance. I'm over here. I'm not in my tier 10s. I'm in my tier 9s. All right, so I got 15% damage on my tier 9s. Why? Because my tier 9 infantry with 15% more damage is killing her infantry as it comes in. All right, so my attack power versus her defense numbers. And my attack numbers were bigger than hers, so I win the roll. My damage lands first, and my damage is huge. She doesn't get to roll her march. Okay, that's why it zeroed. So that's where the show stats, the top stats are important, is to win the roll, and then the damage does the damage. All right, so my damage at that point would have gone after her health. So my advice to somebody like her, if it was like, well, what do I do to fix my stats if I'm going to do that kind of stuff? If you're going to do these kind of things where you do those solo attacks, the attack percentage is not as important as the health percentage, so that you can absorb the damage that I landed. All right. Had her march absorbed more of my damage with higher health, she would have got to roll her T11 troops, and then it could have cascaded the other direction for her. All right. So this is one of these where she's well built. She was a good player, and so you're seeing her on film here. But I guarantee you guys, if you see her in battle, fear for your troops. All right. She's a good player. So that's one of them. All right. And then, like I said, we dink around with the health stats. And then cavalry. Okay, so I've got 1 in my tier 9 cavalry now. Deal extra damage on that. Okay, and I just started doing that. That was my... But I got 3 down here in my tier 8 calv. All right, because they kill more infantry. All right, so see the 2 things I've done there? I'm going to wipe out the front line of your march as it attacks me. Okay, that's what I'm focusing my damage in that rally. It does not help any of the other people in my mega. Remember I said the damage numbers don't carry. But me being the guy, up at the top, I took out the big chunk of her march. All right. So when she got down to the 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the other rest of the rally, the didn't matter. She didn't have anything to hit them with. Her damage, her T11s may have, her damage may have been rolling over from me, but there wasn't much to roll. Okay, so she only got half of that 500,000 that were left, and she should have took it all. All right, she should have been able to take it all. And honestly, had she had one or two stats in a different area, she probably would have. She would have won the roll, got to go first, and her march would have turned around and done better. Okay, so, and remember, it's the attack defense is about rolls. It's about your ability to hit. It's not how much damage gets done. The tier class and the damage stats are those numbers. So, you can have 18,000 top line stats. All right, but you didn't banner any of your buildings, you're going to lose every fight. Okay, so you got a 100% chance to roll, but you didn't bring anything to the fight. All right. All right. So, and in infantry, I'm running a little game over here in my infantry now. So I got one for the morale boost. Increase the defense of the infantry by 3%. All right. 3% is like what? It's nothing in these stats things. But I just seen a difference when I put one talent in there. I saw this more effective. All right. And that's where I started to reduce damage that the infantry takes. So I can't even pretend to understand what kind of silly thing that either they thought they built this straight line number, and due to other factors, it's causing a weird event. Okay, so that's how bugs get in systems. Is you said, well, I just told it to say 2 + 2 = 4, and all of a sudden it's coming up with 9 as the answer. And I was like, well, where'd you get your second 2 from? 2 was the number that the user inputted, but what you thought was a 2 in testing, you got from calculating 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, adding all this stuff up, and all of a sudden there's this weird number that comes out of nowhere from another patch. So it's not 2 + 2 plus anymore, it's 2 + 14. And that may be in there at this point. I don't know. It's not linear math, I can tell you that. There is no what it tells me it does and what it does are not the same thing. All right, and that's all I know about it, is because I cannot test damage. It's not testable. It's just a matter of I've got to get lots and lots and lots and lots of hits and to get a bell curve math. And that's one of the beauties of this defeat that we just had in KVKs is I took a ton of big player hits with comparable stats, running their megas against me, and there was 2 C35s in there, so they had 2 tiers of T11s. Held them off. So my guys are following what I put out there for advice, and we can beat you down from it. We could have refilled that tower. That's why she struck so quick. Is she wanted to knock us out of that tower and kill our buff that we had. But and when I say comparable stats, you guys got to understand, we were rank 4 on the tower, so my stats aren't 2200s all the time, but I had an extra 120, 140 buffs in there, so her T11s couldn't beat my T. So that was the strategy portion of it. We got to a point where my numbers outrolled you, and I knew all day that I needed a certain buff level in order for my war talents to be the effective that I want. See, like right there, I don't have a freaking all my stuff bannered up. Yeah, but that's a troop stat. So, but all my damage stuff, where we got things like this, they'll all be maxed. See, I'm not spending 1,300 banners on freaking 2%. I will eventually, because there's no other use for banners, right? I mean, I'm not selling them in the hero store, but I'll just save them up till I get the troop health to 30, right? And then I'll get the cheap up ones, And then there may be, at that point, I'll start focusing my banners on something like this. Once I get that up, I'll probably put some more distance stats in there. All right, but like I said, at that point, past C30, you will start stacking your banners where you are focusing your job. We talked about the job just a minute ago. All right, so I lost a ton of troops. So, and I've done some speed building videos. So here is the normal gear layout. Go check out one of the other videos on speed building troops, so that I can get max per. I bought some speed ups. I bought 3 $5 packs of speed ups. There's about 1,000 hours of speed ups. And I've been already using them, and I thought, man, I probably should put this on film. Okay, so normally for 3 marches on my T10s, I'm going to be somewhere around 150 to 190,000 T10s. Not today. All right. Right now you see all my T6s and below. This is my defensive layers for when people hit my castle. I didn't take any castle hits during KVK, so they're still intact. Because those, having 50,000 or more of those down in there, and then I make the T4 level, it's cheap. I make the T4 level really, really strong. And oddly enough, so did that C40 that we had a problem. We were killing millions of T4s. So he's come to the same conclusion that we had in the past, and we were there. So this is enough for 1 march. All right. So now I'm going to go turn around and train. And we're going to go down here to the 7s. And I'm going to start building I build from the bottom up. I'm going to get my 50,000 per troop things. And then I'm going to start building my second and third marches, which is my top 3. Excuse me. I'm going to look at that again to make sure I explain it to you well. This is enough to send 1 full march. All right. So I might be spending a lot of gold in UAC this week, just healing that 1 march. So now I'm going to start training with my 300% buff. I'm going to start training my 7s, and then my 8s, and then my 9s, and then my 10s. I'm going to put 50,000 because I only need like 3,500 to send a march on that tier 7. But I'm going to put 50,000 in there because the reason I'm down to 0 on that is that was part of a defense, and I did need them. I killed them off. I had 50,000 of those things. I killed them. So they, as part of defense on the towers, they took a big hit. So I'm probably, since that number was 0 this morning, I'm probably for the next tower going to have 100,000 of those T7 riflemen, because we didn't get down into killing this layer, but this layer was stopping damage, and this layer is cheap to build. 9 hours for 2,700. So we may look at bolstering that layer a little bit. If that layer is trying to take and absorb damage, if I can figure out how to bolster that layer so the damage doesn't roll through that layer to another layer, well, then I can stop T8 damage, right? If I can stop it at the T7 level, then my T8 level doesn't take the damage either. So I wasn't out of T8s. No, I was. I was out of T8, 7s, 8s, and 9s. I was 0s. I only had T10s left. And that's because I carry enough T10s to run 5 marches normally. But as you see, I got enough for 1 march. All right, so let's go look at our infantry. And let's get that sped out of there. I don't even know what I'm building. All right, it wasn't T10s. So I got my little chart. Just bring it on screen here, show you that, you guys have seen the old thing. So I can turn around and go through here and say, okay, T10 infantries, I need 2,600. All right, so you know where I'm getting these numbers from. You guys get them from the website. I build the chart for them. So I have 520. The and to send one march, I need 26,000. So we're going to build that up. Now this is what we call normal recovery. This is what we use the speed ups for. Is first build one proper march so that you can be in an event. Remember, we're getting our free loot from events. So if you just start spamming your top tiers during the 300% bonus, let me show you the bonus. All right, so we've got our Kingdom's Arms race that gave us 30%. We're getting 50% gather speeds. Troop training's 30% as well from the Kingdom's Arms. Plus we have the 300% for 2 days. That I have almost 70 million freaking actual dead. Wounded don't count. So I have 70 million power that is dead. All right, so that's what we're replacing right now. We're going to go through here. And like I said, $15 for these speed ups. All right, so and then I'm going to be food poor as hell today. We're going to go in here and now the nice thing about using the stacking the buffs, you see how I had my drums on and everything. All right, stacking the buffs is 2,700 T10s in 20 hours and 30 minutes. All right, so I'm using fewer speed ups. What do we need here? We need a couple more of these things. Isn't it? It's as much fun watching me build Speed Train as it is actually clicking the button, I bet. I mean, the excitement from this is just absolutely epic. You're all going, God, I wish he would edit his films and cut 2 minutes out of this crap. But then you wouldn't get my witty banter that I never do anymore. So 27,000. That puts me over my mark there. Now, I have 4 T9s. Luckily for the T9s, I only need 11,000 of those. All right, so the goal here, and I do this as much to show everybody that I got to do it too. You're watching me. It ain't no different for me than it is for you. There's no hidden... I get people all the time that says, yeah, but the developers give you free shit. The only thing the developers give me is shit. All right? You ought to see them defend some of the stupidest things they've ever put in the game simply for the fact that it has only been built already. And it's a challenge to their work that, the math in the back of a game or any software is actually fairly easy. The portion that is hard in building any interface that the public touches is the interface. We got this crap interface over here on the guard. This thing is garbage. When there's 2 possible fixes for this, all right? One, at this point, you're giving away stats so freely, stop making people choose guards. If you got a guard, you level a guard, you get that talent, it just adds to your character. Stop making people choose them, all right? If anything, it's a reason to get people to buy more guard weapons that have stupid money. And like I said, those show stats, they're show stats. You got to whittle down through that troop march. If they've been unchallenged forever, beat on them till they can't move no more. If he can afford to put 800 million back in 2 weeks, God bless him. He can spend 20 grand on a freaking game. The But you can also avoid that guy. See, where we lost our 30 million, that's one of these lessons that I came out of this with is I need to figure out a way to explain to people when we're dumping out of towers because they need to be on their own dump buttons, especially for speed hits. They got to be. And that was probably gonna. Yeah, I'm probably gonna use it anyway. I was like, probably didn't want to unlock 70 million, but yeah, I'll use 70 million. So dumping out of the towers. So him speed hitting the towers was the problem. Okay. And once he started speed hitting the towers, we swapped our marches out. None of his other players wanted to be anywhere near our towers because we could do the same thing to his players that he could do to ours. As a whole, our kingdom was stronger than his kingdom. We could solo hit his towers, and he knew it. We actually did that first thing in the morning. We jumped over the kingdom, knocked all their towers and their castle out. That's why he came to our kingdom and just started. But he was coming there anyway. He knew that he could do whatever he wanted in anybody else's kingdom. And what he had learned from the game up to that point was everybody rolls over when I show up and after they see me do my damage. So I gotta scroll here. I only need 2,900 of these, so. Now your even tiers are your defensive tiers in your infantry. So you tend to take higher losses there. And you see where my T6 defense is not sitting at 50,000 on my infantry. So that's a pretty good indicator about where the limit of my day was. I was down to, what do I carry for T6s? I carry 1,200 of them. So that represents me taking 31 hits. All right, with heals, everything else took place. 31 hits. I only carry 1,200 of them to the march. So to eat 50,000 of them up gives you an idea how many times I took hits yesterday. It was fun. I mean, it is the reason that you play the game, that you spilled the money. If you ever wonder why, a good fight like that is it. You don't even care that you lost as long as it was a good fight. It wasn't the when the guy was trash talking yesterday, I was like, good. I'm okay with the trash talk a little bit. But I get a little fearful of the trash talk because when I trash talk, I don't mean anything by it. It's all in fun, but you can't get that through text, and it's hard to tell if somebody is nerd raging. All right, like you said something. I mean, today's youth think that a text has no context. That the thought or the way somebody said something in their brain was no big deal. So sixes. Let me see here. All right. So sevens. So we are going to be training sevens. Sixes there. All right. So cavalry. Now, I shouldn't have large cavalry losses with the new formations that I'm running. But there you see, they didn't go deep. They did go deep. All right, guys. So what do I carry for T3s? I carry 1,200. So that represents 4 or 5. The cavalry losses aren't as high. So where I lost a lot of infantry from the hits, even though I only took 1,200, it just represents the number of hits that I took where I lost all that infantry. The cavalry, most of them survive. For being a low health thing, for some reason they survive real well. All right, but we got to start at the top. And cavalry is a 35,000 number. And the reason we're starting at the top is they take the longest, right? There is no difference in the RSS cost or the speed up timer cost, but I don't want to waste the time that I save from the buffs. All right. So we start top bottom, we get our March built. And that is for the time savings. I'm saving time for the week. So later in the week, when I got to build T3 cavalry to fill out my marches or fill out my base, it's a quick 3 hours while I'm doing something else. If I'm online doing other stuff, I can sit there and pop some T3 cavalries in there. Uh, and I'll do that to where I'll save some speed ups to where, let's say I pop on and I got like 5 hours left on the T10s I left cooking overnight. Well, then I'll just speed up those 5 hours and pop some T3s on while I'm doing it, and then go back to doing T10s when I log back off again. So the good use of time to get your speed ups. Now there's guys who turn around and they spend and they power build, right? You know them, you've seen them. You know, like, oh, I just spent blah blah dollars and I had to power build. Oh my gosh, man! You got a whole week to do this stuff. You know, so what we want to do is burn up our troop build number, right? That 70 million power, we want to use it while we got it, because, and that means you need to have enough RSS. Now I tell myself every time I'm not going to risk all these troops and take forever and have to spend this stuff to do this, but then I see the chance to take advantage to get some numbers to do some math for you guys, and I do it. And every single week I do the same exact thing. It's like walking into a casino going, where'd my paycheck go? The same thing with my troops. What was my number? 35. Get to yakking and long silences. You know, we treat this like radio, and long silences is not good. It's called dead air. For those that didn't know, I actually was on the FCC's watch list for a while. Way back in the 2005, 6, somewhere around there. There was a whole bunch of things where they talked about getting rid of pirate radio. Only people didn't know what the FCC and the news was calling pirate radio. You could go down to Radio Shack and buy a 10-watt FM transmitter for personal use. And I built servers for a thing called Microcast, to where one guy could be doing a radio show, stream it to 70,000 other people with 10-watt transmitters, and he wound up with a 1 or 2 million person audience. And that disturbed the FCC, because the way the FCC licenses are is you go out there, you research a frequency that you're allowed to use, and then you pay $250,000 to say, I want to buy that frequency. And the FCC says, thank you for your $250,000. We are now putting that frequency up for bid. And some major mega corporation that wants to silence all opposition walks in there and spends millions of dollars and buys that frequency from you. And then asks if you want to lease it back, under their terms or rules telling you what you can and cannot say. That's the, for those who don't know how the free speech is talked about, that is kind of the rules of the road. But they called it pirate radio, and then they started banning those little 10-watt transmitters because we were using the internet to do transmissions, and then all the listeners were local, right? So, and basically what it really come down to was no corporation could buy me out and stop me from letting people say what they wanted to say. We had left-wingers, right-wingers. It was not about what was said. It was about who controlled it. It really was. So, and that thing, and we use that technology overseas it's in play with the Christian network, uses it to broadcast in China and stuff. It's a really low cost thing. It could be duplicated with an app these days. It really could. You could. They make antennas that plug into your phone, and you could turn around, everybody download an app, and one guy could build a radio station with a 10 million audience. To where the guy could Bluetooth a speaker, sit down in a park, and start playing a radio show, you know, and have just tons and tons of people idly listen to your speaker, and be broadcast over the internet through an app. Yeah, yeah. If you don't think that don't scare people who want to control what things say, you don't know them. All right, my number here is 15. So good, because we're almost out of speed ups. You see, 1,000 speed ups don't go that far. 1,000 speed ups will build one T10 march. Okay, so it's about 1,000 hours per march. So 5 marches is 5,000 hours on my T10s, and that's with all those bonuses and buffs, guys. So don't forget that. Well, like I said, we start top bottom, and if I didn't already know what it was going to take, I would have turned around and just did my T10s and then did my T9s and then did my T8s for the different classes. But I know what this is going to take, and quite frankly, I know I'm going to have to go buy some more speed ups here in a minute, right? So, yeah, that's where that's heading. I had a bad day. So my tier 8s, I only need 9,000 of those. So we might get down there. Nines, eights. One more group of those because I need 8,800 for a march. Ding. All right, so we are down to tier 7s. Tier 7 cavalry is a mystery to me. That is a unit that is made of paper. It dies a lot. I don't take many of them to the marches when I got tier 10s, about 2,900. And that 2,900 has a tendency to die. So I build a lot of them. But they're cheap to build. All right. So, and we got to remember, damage is carrying over. So that tier on an offense or defense is taking some damage away from some other tier in the fight, and or health away from some other tier in the fight. So I may be losing those cavalry, but it usually means that their riflemen, it's a good indicator that their riflemen are doing a lot of damage. So we adjust for it in other tiers. So when you guys are looking at the calculator and going, I don't know why you picked this, this, and this, and this, he says, you've got this all set up wrong. Like, it's about one tier protecting another tier so we get max damage rollover. And then at the same time of the day, it's not about max kills. It is about max recovery. Now, T6s are the uber cavalry in, I should have had 50,000. I guarantee you my T6 cavalry were chewing up infantry all day long. They take losses, but on total and mass yesterday, I killed 5 players for every one that I lost. So we're sitting here showing you me. I can't show you them. But I know that when we added up all the stuff, I killed 5 guys for every one that I lost. And they weren't crap players. So, all right, guys. We got to go down into the tiers to start building the 50,000 from the bottom. So I start with my tops. I build my march, and then I'm building my defensive layer back up with some time, and then I'll start using the speed ups and building back up. And so when I get up to where I run out of speed ups or timers or other stuff like that because look, I can go in here and speed up these real quickly, right? And that's only that's only 50,000 of my millions and millions of power that I got to get back. Now, watch this timer because you don't want to run out of this time, the 2 days. So I will probably go back in there as soon as I go buy more speed ups. I will go back in there and do another march of my top layer because this is the cheapest use of speed ups. But I will also at the same time so when I get 3 marches of my top layer built back up, that makes me feel safe. I don't burn a lot of gold in UAC if I got 3 full marches. So if you look at the spine breaker and you take it times 3, that's how you can, and you do the gear swaps like I've showed you in the past. That's how you don't burn a ton of gold during UACs. If you're burning 100,000 golds during UACs, you are a freaking mental case. You're not playing safe. You're doing everything reckless, and you're giggling at every hit. The lithium might need to be involved before you buy more gold. All right. The if you're spending 100,000 gold in UACs like I have done, it's usually because I don't have 3 marches to keep swapping things out. All right. Plus, it took me time to get the rest of my alliance up to where they do what they need to do in order for us to win. And that took time to train. It's impossible to do through text. It's one of the reasons we do the videos. It's one of the reasons we do the web pages stuff is when somebody has time during the week or the month and they sit down and I get guys that say, man, I'd listen to you for like 3 days, listening to all the playlists. I'm like, holy crap, how'd you not fall asleep? But it sinks in, and then when you see it in reality, you go, oh, I remember something about that. So it's one of those things that where if you are listening in the background just to listen, it does sink in when you actually see it happen, because you may hear about something and it doesn't happen for 3 months. And I'm telling you that one of the reasons we're doing this video now is not because I didn't want to do this video. It's not because I didn't want to update the calculators. It's I did not have enough people that had enough stats and enough play skills to send balanced marches that look like something I would build at me to say I can defend against that. All right. And to put it on film and show you I can defend against that. My stuff's working. The very cynical youth out there, they got to have visual proof, and I don't mind. I will never mind backing up what I say. And at the same time, I tell you where, like in the damage numbers, I can't prove it. It's, it's experience, it's intellect guided by experience is what it comes down to. I know what I see, and I know in the back of my mind where it's at, and it's a little harder to put it into, well, how do I make it so everybody else understands what I know? That's a different challenge than knowing the answer, and it's one we're trying to overcome. So we're doing the playlist. I don't know where I'm going to put this in a playlist, probably at the end of a KVK playlist or UAC playlist. Well, UACs you wouldn't have any loss. But we got Interkingdom KVKs coming, so this is one of these things where this is part of community building. All right, so you're gonna, and this is I think that's the first time I've used that word, but it's not the first time that we've been doing stuff towards it. I've got the how to build a community farm, a farm dedicated to being a farm. You don't just slap an alliance together and throw castles in it. For those, oh man, I just the other day with my dedicated farm, since we've done the farms, I went over, hit 4 of my castles, and Pop went from C31 to C32 and brought my academy to 32 and did 5 researches, and am currently researching my 11-day March cap. I'm down to 9 days left, right? For March cap increase, because for some reason, and that's a bug, I'm going to show it while I'm talking about it, because okay, so On Combat 2, you see here where well, that's 33, but that was a 30. Was it this one? You see I'm already maxing my research out. All right. One of these, and it may have been the troop attack one. No, it was the artillery. Okay, so these were C-31s and C over these two here, but the artillery was C-32 in front of it. So you had to hit C-32 before you could do the C-31 researches. Just something no one's noticed, or it was something they said, well, we need to slow these guys down. Either way, it was either patched on purpose or whatever, but visually, it's a mess. So they needed to raise these to 32s so that we don't notice that problem. But, and you see, like I said, I'm working on my march capacity again. So I did with a 4-farm hit, and those farms run for about 10 days. I did enough to get all the RSS to do the academy, the palace, and all this research. And then I still got 7 million and 24 million in my irons just hanging loose here. So something to check out there. And that's another reason for having them farms set up the way those farms set up. Like I said, they're dedicated farms. We set them up so that you can jump in the middle and grab whatever. If I need to go in there and grab, and I probably made it later today, I may need to go in there and grab some food off my farms. Just to build these marches up after I buy some more speed ups. I think that the time it takes to build troops has gotten a little out of skew with the volumes that we're doing. And when we get into inter-kingdom KEs, the problem that we just saw here in this one, where one guy had been untouched for so stinking long, I don't believe that was a matchup problem. Yes, he had 2,900 stats. Our biggest guy had 2,400. I get it. But he had been untouched for so stinking long that he was a bottomless pit of gold and a bottomless pit of troops. That one guy was 60% of an entire kingdom's kills, and we were the top of all GOG guys. That is one guy that was the number one killer in all of GOG, and my kingdom took those kills. We brought him down. I'm gonna watch him. I'm gonna see how far. I think he'll break 1.1 million. I think that's what he'll break, is about 1.1 million in the game. But I think he's been coining freaking troops and not. I think he bought a C-30 probably on day one in that kingdom, and has been coining troops in the lower tiers ever since the days. And because, like I said, we went through millions and millions and millions of T4s. It's. I don't know how, as gamers, we need to address these big, overwhelming stat numbers. The restrictions on timers in game is some of it, but those restrictions only affect new players. So all the people that are building new accounts going forward are going to have a harder time racing ahead. The amount of timers that I'm going to get out of here is and uber limited, right? So I mean, this is all I can get out of here, and I don't use these for freaking troops. I tend to use these for research. And I got that 9 days of research going on over there. And it's going to give me some troop cap, which is not going to give me one more castle on my freaking Thursday. Which is odd. The Basically you get down towards that end and it stalls at C32, guys. It really does. You got to do the research. And of course we don't skip any airship gears. Today's guard day. You know what? This will be the first day that I do guard day with my epic weapons on. You know what? My epic weapons are not on. I don't know if these work in there or not, so not the point of this video, but hey, we're here, right? So you see somebody, because I stalled. So this is a good test. I was stalled with my guards before weapons. So if I go put my guards back on, all right, good deal. That's my best foot forward on my guards right now. All right. So, oh, you know what? I'm lying to you. I did do this last Sunday. I just didn't film it. So yes, the guard weapons will get you further in the guard deal. That's why they turned around and put, I got to finish. This is past 19. Nope, that's not the one that we got to finish. If we go down here to Lord, there are two that I got to finish that I haven't. Air parts booster. Airship expeditions has to be a 160. And clear the guard expedition. Well, guys, I'm at 190. Oh. To level 160. That's a bug. And, oh, nope. I'm on level 19. They're not 10 castles. So I'm 146 of 160. So I got to do level 19 and level 20 before I can buy airship parts at some insanely high cost in the freaking hero store. But since they put this patch out, you see I got crap loads of coin in here. Oh my gosh, there's not enough things to buy anymore now that they put the restrictions and the timers like they did. As you see, I keep my freaking cooldowns on cooldown here. Go in here and get another 400 of that. Whoop-de-doo. All right. And all right, guys. Not the point of this video. So the point was recovery from epic losses. All right. So now what we want to do is not have you do what I did. All right. Use the 60K, the 75K marches if you got C35s. Use those marches. Don't blow your wad doing the things. Spread out. Have more players in a formation. Get that research stuff done. The matter of fact, we're working on that last one right now. And I'll tell you why I don't have it done already. We hadn't been using it. The quite frankly, participation in KVKs has been so slight in the times that people come on, and that we have to spread out so much. There is no bringing 15 guys per rally. It's just not happening because I got guys stacked in the towers. I got, so you can't rally a tower while you're stacked in a tower. Uh, I honestly want that removed from the game. You need to be able to attack a tower while you're in a tower. It's You shouldn't be able to hold two towers. When your march captures the next tower, your previous march leaves the tower before it. You shouldn't be able to hold them, but you damn sure should be able to attack them. All right. The You should be able to, that would improve gameplay and strategy play without affecting any other mechanics of the game. That would add a layer of strategy to that you know where you're drawing from. It would, for somebody like me, it would force me to build rallies with people that are spread out amongst all four towers and make sure I'm not losing anybody from my palace. Blah blah blah. The But you've got these bigs that are running around trying to be everywhere and do everything at once. Yeah, let them do two things at once, but make them, so instead of them getting so big that all they do is smash and bash, make them, I need them to sit in a tower. I want, while they're sending a rally towards my other tower, for them to be sitting in another tower having the damn thing megged. Uh, so that I can time a hit towards them. Uh, so it's a fix to this oversized problem that has come on with time. And so when we say a two-part fix, we don't need to fix restricting people's troop buildups anymore. All right, you've done that. This is the third time you've cornered that. Time has its advantage for those guys, and this is about how much somebody like me in a younger kingdom. I am never going to be able to build the troops that guy's got. He's going to have 600. He left the game with 800 million. If I get back what I had yesterday, I'll be at 220 million. So 260, I think. So it's. I'm going to put this in the developer list for that reason. I don't know if they'll stay towards the end, but down to the bottom right-hand corner, subscribe. If you are a developer and you want to make comments on my developmental list videos, put -developer in your first comment and wait for me to hide your comments. I will reply to you that I've hidden you, and anything you say at that point in time will not be seen by the public. So it can be a two-way conversation, and I can demonstrate on video what I'm seeing, how I'm seeing, and you can argue with me about where I'm wrong, and I'm happy to be proven wrong. Just be proving it. Don't be saying it. The I had somebody comment on one of those videos. It's like, I tried to tell you you're wrong in your formation. I'm like, I already know the formations don't work anymore. They were written before War Talents. They patch, I patch. It takes time to get testing hits done. It has cost me $2,000-$3,000 to do enough test hits, just so that I can have the other 100 people in my freaking alliance have good marches. All right, so money per march is good, and as again showed by this kingdom, our entire kingdom uses most of my stuff. We went toe to toe with a bloody toe to toe. We're up there at the top. I was happy with this weekend. We don't have two C-35s. I want four C-35s. We don't have them yet. So any of you that wants to send me money via PayPal and let me get some badges so that I can do more T11 testing, I'll use it right for that. We'll do the badge outreach program, but I'm not buying badges with my money. It's just not going to happen. I think the game restriction on badges is in there. I think it's been a blessing of income for the people that want to spend it, but the level at which the badges are required now is insane, and or the drop rate is crap. It has taken me 6 weeks per castle level to farm up the badges. So that's why we got the farms and we're pushing other castles right now. They don't need badges to be pushed. So they've got me doing social worker work in here. And only reason I do that is because of the film. Most alliances won't do that, so it's a bad plan. You're not going to get a whole bunch of guys. Most people that get to the top of their alliance are begging their alliance to push them Like, I need to be C-35 so I can protect you guys. Yeah, not the way it works, guys. I proved that over and over and over and over and over and over again. Uh, so the days of the push the asshole program are done. Uh, as most of you in the older kingdoms know, the asshole that got pushed is the asshole that won't go away. The so they are a constant GOG problem. They are a plague on the freaking game, and like I said, we're getting to the point where you can zero them down. When they spend so much time unchallenged, yeah, it's hard. But you just got to say, you know what? No one's challenged him, and I'm tired of him. I don't care if he's a C40. I know in Kingdom 312 there was a blow by blow going on over there that day, trying to tell us how to beat that guy and blah blah blah. And basically they were giving advice on how for me to kill my troops. I'll kill my troops anyway. I don't give a shit. The But what he should have been thinking about was I just demonstrated how you chop the living shit out of somebody who won't shut up. The Because I know the guy running his mouth in that kingdom doesn't have the coin to build his troops back. The So he should not be happy with the videos that we put up on this point, and where we are representing the ability to just say, you know what, next KE, you're going to be the bubbling C40. The, uh, the they're gonna do it. The Show you how to take the layers out, see the stuff. The it's rough work, but you do it once, and then it's maintenance. You cut all the weeds out of the garden. Then all you got to do is go out there and water, right? Keep everything growing, keep the little weeds down. Uh, but it's a long, hard day, and your back's gonna hurt when you have to cut the weeds out of the garden on the first day. So that's where we're at with that stuff. All right, guys. RogersRaiders.com. Down in the bottom right hand corner, it says subscribe button. Sorry this video is so stinking long. But I got a good night's sleep because I was very happy with yesterday's KVK, so I'm babbling on. All right. I appreciate it. Please subscribe, and don't be afraid to tell other people we exist. It's good for you if your alliance works the programs out. It's nice to have a support network around you. I appreciate it. Thank you.